few words with Theodore Roosevelt. I'm Johan Martinez playing co-host Larry.
I'm Austin Paris. I'm playing co-host Lenny.
I'm Muriel Saldana, and I'm playing Teddy Roosevelt.
Senior division, group performance, and we're going to start the Okay.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, Larry. My name's Larry.
I'm Lenny.
And
Oh.
thank you for everybody for joining us. There's like 20 of you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to the Leadership and Legacy show, as we like to call it, the Ellen Show. Ellen L Show. You see what we did? L.
Got it.
Amazing. We have a great show for you guys tonight. We're sorry we don't have any fancy setting, but we're broke. It's not my fault. It's not his fault. It's Theodore's fault. It costs too much money.
Besides that, we have a great show for you guys tonight. We have the best guest name we could ask for, Theodore Roosevelt.
Thank you, Theodore, for joining us. It's great honor to have you.
Thank you for having me. The honor is mine.
Now, I forgot to mention in the beginning, but you hold the record for declaring the most national parks. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
But you have a couple more.
Really?
Yeah, you hold the record for being the first president to fly out of the country while in office, the first president to ride in an airplane, the first president to be known by his initials, and you
And, well, thank you, Lenny. Great information, but after all those words, I would like some numbers. So, come on, give me some numbers.
Okay, then. Sure. I was born on October 27th, 1858, and I have died on January 6, 1919. I was the 26th President of the United States, and I was in office for 8 years, and I lived to be 60 years old.
Simple.
If you say so.
I must mention the time period back then was known as the Progressive Era, which means there was a lot of social activism and political reform.
Well, yes. It was a great era to be a part of. I was able to give the Americans a square deal, and I was also able to help find a balance between employees and employers.
Now, to get both sides of the story, I do have to mention that some people didn't like you, to say the very least.
Yes, there were some folks that thought that I used too much of my available power.
Yes, too much power, and if I remember correctly, you actually stated, I don't think any harm comes from the concentration of power in one man's hands.
Yes, that's true. I think that as president, you need to use all the power that is available to you. And like I said, I care not what of others think of me, but I care very much of what I think of what I do, and that is character.
But you were also criticized later on about your spelling reform, supporting the simplification of words, including the deletion of silent letters.
Well, yes, I tried to make English easier to read as well as write, and I also tried to make it a universal language. But, like I say, a man who never does a mistake is a man who doesn't do anything. And I'm not going to be known as a man who does nothing.
Mr. Roosevelt, please excuse Larry here and all of his rude questions.
Okay, of course. Sorry, Mr. Roosevelt. But tell us, how were you able to become president of the United States?
Well, I first started out as the first commander of the United States Cavalry called the Rough Riders. I then became the governor of New York, and then I had several jobs in between that.
What were some of those jobs?
Well, some jobs to say were I was a cattle rancher, I was also a deputy sheriff, a naturalist, historian, explorer, author of 35 books, police commissioner, assistant secretary to the Navy, and I was a lawyer. And I then became vice president under President McKinley.
But you were vice president for long. Why was that?
Well, sadly, Mr. President McKinley was assassinated, and then I stepped up to be president in 1901 to 1905, and then I was re-elected for another term from 1905 to 1909.
And once you stepped into office, you did so many great things.
I think so.
In some of those great things here, it says that were in protection of wildlife and public lands by creating the U.S. Forest Service and establishing 51 bird reservations, 4 national game preserves, 150 national forests, 5 national parks, and proclaimed 18 national monuments. Now, you proclaimed 230 million acres of public land.
Yes, a little bit of political reform, huh?
Just a lot. And personally, we both being from Arizona would like to thank you for proclaiming the beautiful Grand Canyon as a national monument.
Well, yes, like I say, here is your country. Cherish the natural wonders, cherish these natural resources, cherish the history and romance as a sacred heritage. And for your children and your children's children, don't let a selfish man or greedy interest skin your country of its beauty, its riches, or its romance.
But you did so more than those preservation acts.
Well, yes, one, as president, one is obligated to serve its people to the fullest of their ability.
Yes, I know how it is to be the boss and do the betterment for your people, so that is why I, as boss here, banned anybody from using the bathroom.
Really?
Yes, dedication to work, my friend.
I hate to interrupt, Larry, but shouldn't we be talking about Theodore and not you?
Yeah, my bad. So, Theodore,
Before we keep going, can I use the restroom?
really? Right now? We're in the middle of something.
Do I really need to go?
No, I said no, okay? Anyways, Theodore. Apart from you doing amazing things here in the U.S., you were able to do some amazing stuff worldwide. Enlighten us.
Well, yes, after the French saw the need to build a canal between North and South America and failed, I saw that the American people could build it successfully. And so after a few ups and downs, mostly downs, it was officially opened August 15, 1914.
What were some of those ups and downs?
Well, the first thing we had to do was convince the Congress.
Not that hard for you.
Well, like I said, I took the canal zone and I let Congress debate. And as the debate went on, so does the canal.
Oh, and you also helped with the Treaty of Portsmouth, which ended the Japanese-Russian War.
Yes, I was able to help Japan and Russia end the war more peacefully.
That is why you're known as the Great Conservative for doing those amazing things and much more.
Whatever the host says, right?
Right.
Of course, for the best. Now, can we talk about your nickname for a few seconds, Teddy?
Sure.
How did that nickname become so famous?
Well, I am a hunter, and so a party invited me down to Mississippi to go hunt. And so after a few days, everyone got bears, and I was the only one without one. So they tied up a black bear and wanted me to shoot it. And I didn't, I refused because I thought it was unsportsmanlike of me. And then word got out about the bear and they started making political cartoons.
And later on, though, a few months later, they made some toy bears. And thanks to what happened in Mississippi, these toy bears changed their name to teddy bears.
You can say I started the name Teddy Bears.
All right. That was, well, I'm sorry to break it to you, Theodore, but you're going to be remembered as much for your political work as much as how your famous nickname came to be.
Well.
Anyways, they're telling me that it's almost time to say goodbye, but before we leave, we'd like to present you with this monument of your face on Mount Rushmore. No, we're broke, but it's a nice thought. We were able to buy you an island in Washington, D.C. if you ever want to go see it.
Really?
No, we didn't buy it, we're broke. Anyways, they're yelling at my ear that it's time to leave here. Thank you for joining us here. It's a great honor to have you.
Thank you for having me.
And,